as the world is shocked by deaths of Mahsa Amini and Hadis Najafi. Let me to remind you of Iran before Islamic Revolution, when Iranian women wore European clothes and state was ruled by the Shah. The life of the Shah's second wife Soraya, called Princess with the Sad Eyes, looked like Arabic fairy tale, but without a happy ending. The beginning was certainly straight out of a storybook. The recently divorced Mohammad Reza Pahlavi fell in love immediately with a picture of the 18-year-old half Persian, half German Soraya. He asked for her hand in marriage after just one meeting, and sealed the deal with a massive 22-carat diamond engagement ring. The grand wedding ceremony was originally scheduled for December 1950, but had to be postponed, as Soraya came down with a serious case of typhoid fever. As legend goes, the Shah brought her a jewel every day during her sickness and placed it on her pillow. She still wasn't entirely well in February, but further postponement wasn't possible, so she had to soldier on. The fantasy continued at the couple's grand wedding at Golestan Palace. Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, US President Truman and King George VI sent their luxurious presents to the couple. The ceremony was decorated with 1.5 tons of orchids, tulips and carnations delivered by plane from the Netherlands. Entertainment included an equestrian circus from Rome. Soraya's wedding gown, designed for the occasion by Christian Dior, just dazzled the imagination. Made of 37 yards of silver lamp studded with pearls, 6,000 diamond pieces, and 20,000 marabou feathers, the creation weighed a whopping 44 pounds, 20 kilograms. But the bride, not fully recovered after illness, could barely walk in heavy gown. Minutes before the ceremony, the Shah and one of his aides used scissors to cut away 8 meters of the train, in order to relieve Soraya of some of the weight. At the reception, the young queen wore an emerald and diamond parure from the crown jewels. But the fairy tale came to the bitter end when, after 7 years of marriage, Soraya had not given her husband any children. The Shah needed a son to continue the dynasty. He had one daughter with his first wife, but a boy was required. The Shah clearly loved his wife, but in 1958 he tearfully announced their divorce. Given the title HIH Princess Soraya of Iran and generous funding, she lived the rest of her life as a jet-setting socialite in Europe. She was known for her stunning collection of jewelry and tried to establish a career of an actress. But she never managed to find real happiness. Even a romance with film director Franco Indovina ended tragically with his death in a plane crash. Known as the Princess with the Sad Eyes, Soraya lived a lonely existence as a queen in exile for the last 3 decades of her life. Envied, then pitied, she was the Princess Diana of her day. Every smile, every tear and each event connected to her name instantly became a focus of attention. In 1991, she wrote an autobiography called The Palace of Loneliness. The Shah married again to Farah and had 4 children, including 2 boys. But in 1979 he was overthrown and exiled, and the heir he thought to have has never had the opportunity to rule Iran. Soraya died in October 2001 of undisclosed causes at the age of 69, and was buried in Munich, along with her parents and brother. Several women came forward claiming to be Soraya's illegitimate daughters, but all the claims were dismissed by court. Soraya specified in her will that her estate should be auctioned. with proceeds donated to the French Red Cross, an animal protection group, and an organization for the rights of disabled people. The auction took place in 2002 in Paris. The sweet scent of jasmine and roses filled the corridors of the auction house, in honor of Soraya, who loved flowers. They were sent by her florist to evoke the sense of a Persian garden. Her engagement ring, the Shah proposed her with, went for a whopping $830,000. The fairy tale Dior wedding gown with 20,000 marabou feathers was sold for $1.2 million. Even her evening shoes, designed in 1960s by Roger Vivier and crafted with topaz and silver threads, were bought for $26,000. Piece by piece, over 3 days, what remained of Soraya's private life was auctioned away, raising more than $6 million to be divided between her 3 favorite charities. At the end, all that was left was the smell of jasmine. The emerald parure Soraya donned for her wedding remained in the Iranian treasury, and was worn by the Shah's third wife, Empress Farah, and later by Shah's daughter. After the Iranian Revolution, it became the property of the Iranian state and is on display in the National Treasury of Iran.